Hello and welcome back to this new video. It has been ages since my last upload and I'm really sorry about that, but I had just so much real life stuff getting in the way. But hey, I'm back with a new video and we're definitely entering the realm of exotic ships with this one because the Endurance was very fun, but not the easiest ship and definitely not the most common PvP ship you see out there. But I had a blast playing it and I hope you will enjoy these fights as much as I did while recording them. So let's take a look at this fit. Because the Endurance only has one gun slot, because, well, usually it is meant to only have one laser, which is the Ice Binding laser. I could only fit one gun. I went with a neutron blaster, at the moment loaded with antimatter. Let me just switch that to void. Here we go. And yeah, what else can you put into high slots? Why not two neuts? So I just went with the full neuting power, usual scram web, shield extender, afterburner, damage control, max stab, power core to make it work, and two core defense field extenders. You see the power is still not working. It is off by 0.92%. So you do need a 1% implant to run this fit, but it is absolutely worth it because you need those T2 neuts, you need the T2 shield extender, and the T2 afterburner also gives you a lot of utility. Because looking at this, the ship actually doesn't have too bad DPS considering it's only one gun and 3 drones. And it has some really decent speed, and with the T2 afterburner you can actually make some really good range control work, especially after you neuted out the enemy's webs. Yeah, that's pretty much the fit. The Endurance gets a really nice bonus, which is right here, 4% bonus to all shield resistances per Expedition Frigate skill level. So yeah, I actually skilled into Expedition Frigate as a PvPer, I can't believe it. But yeah, to actually make it work, and you see I get some sick tank with this, and some really good resistances as well, so I don't need to waste any slots on like EM Shield Reinforcer, and I can just go all in tank, and I get some really good tank with that. 9.2k HP, I could outlast a lot of things, especially with the neuts. So yeah, I was considering an autocannon just to get a bit more cap, because it is a bit weak on cap, but then I thought no, I want the extra DPS. And after the enemy is neuted, I can turn one neut off and I'm absolutely cap stable, so that's definitely fine. And you will see in the upcoming fights that I didn't have too much cap pressure except in some fights. And yeah, more in detail about that in a minute. Yeah, the biggest downside of this ship is definitely that you cannot enter any Fashion Warfare sites. You cannot enter Navy sites and you cannot enter advanced sites, which kinda sucks because the Outsider, I think it's called, let's double check. Yeah, it's the Outsider. So the T2, the new T2 destroyer, the new mining destroyer, obviously, it can enter advanced sites in Fashion Warfare, but neither the Endurance nor the Prospect can, which kind of sucks, and I think it's just a thing that hasn't come to CCP's attention and that will probably be fixed sometime in the future. But yeah, for now it was a bit difficult to find fights, and I actually had to ask around a lot, like, hey, does anyone want to fight this? And sometimes I just was just sitting outside of Fashion Warfare sites, baiting people in. But I got some really good fights, so it was definitely worth it. And yeah, just before I head out, over the time now that I wasn't like uploading videos, I still collected some of those partner skins. So make sure you enter into the giveaway by typing your name, your in-game name, into the comments under this video, so you can enter into the giveaway and have a chance at, for example, an Odysseus Media Miasma skin, or yeah, I still have a few Astero and Venture Scope Syndication skins if you prefer those to the Media Miasma, and I have the Vexa Navy Media Miasma skins as well. So yeah, make sure you enter the giveaway because there will be lots of skins to be given away. And with that, I'm gonna stop talking and send you on to the fights after the quick wheel spin. So enjoy! Alright, here we are in the first fight. I am on the gate and I'm just approaching to this breacher to see if he wants to tag me. And he actually wants to tag me, so he immediately scrams me, webs me, so I know, okay, game on, let's get this started. I immediately stagger my neuts, make sure I get him neuted out quickly. And you see I'm hitting him pretty hard, considering I only have like 100 DPS, and he is not doing a lot of damage to me. I am just approaching at the moment. I should have maybe orbited to mitigate some of that damage because the breacher often struggles with application, but it was honestly fine just like this. and I knew that I would just have to out-tank his medium ancil shield booster, because he will not be able to use any armor ripper if he has one, because of the neuts. Now you see it's already neuted out, so I can turn off one of the neuts, and now I'm just completely fine, cap stable, I can neut him forever, and he's just slowly gonna die. He had a lot of shield tank, so I was a bit nervous here, but I knew he has completely neuted out, so if I have to I can warp off, and finally he ran out of shield charges, so yeah, now it's just over. He did try to escape here now, you can see he starts to fly away, but I'm just hitting approach, staying on him, and he's not gonna make it out of this. And I get a last good shot, and he dies. So GF, bye bye Breacher. And there's his fit. You see that Ancil Armor Ripper was completely useless, it still had all its charges, he could just not use it. So yeah, great fight. This next fight starts kinda midway in, because there was a lot of just messing around, testing each other before we really got into the engagement. So you see he does not have drones on me at the moment, and that is because I already killed and defanged all of his drones. So yeah, this was then the point when I finally decided, okay, it's time to go in, get those neuts on him, and hopefully finish him off. I also had the chance to check his guns before going in, so I knew he was going to be railgun fit. So I was just trying to get under his guns with Orbit by Finish It. I did not have my neut staggered here, which is a big mistake, but it was still enough to neut him out. And yeah, now he's deploying his second set of drones, because the Comet is broken OP, it has 2 sets of drones, so I knew I have to kill the second set of drones as well if I want to win this, but basically if the drones are down, I can just tank him forever because I can keep him capped out, and I'm cap stable with the neut. So it's just a thing of killing the drones, and then I'm going to be fine to just slowly chew through his tank. And yeah, I now also realize that I'm on the wrong ammo from earlier from them testing around, and I quickly switched to antimatter, which is also another reason why I like the blaster over an autocannon. The quick reload, but also the really good tracking you get from blasters. Like with autocannons, I would not hit these hobgoblins while orbiting him this quickly, but with the blasters I do hit him, well, his drones. So I can rather quickly finish these drones. But actually I'm now not even shooting the drones, but just using my drones to defend his drones and shooting him with my blasters. But yeah, I'm hitting him really well here. So yeah, it's just one drone now, and after that I can probably even just approach, load Void, and blast him to pieces because he's not gonna have enough cap to shoot me at all. So yeah, this was a really scary fight to take, and I'm not sure I could have redone it. Like, if I had fought him again, he would have known how I was planning to fly this, and he would have kept more range. But like this, I could get the neuts on him, and that really helped me to win this fight. So yeah, now it's just a question of grinding through his hull tank, and now I also realize that he's not going to have enough cap to shoot me at all. So I'm just quickly switching over to Void and shooting at him again, and now he should die rather quickly. I should have honestly overheated my guns more here, now I finally start doing that. But since I only use one gun and 2 neuts, I can overheat for a long time with this singular gun. It's like Glaving guns, and I can just keep him, well, I can just keep heating for a very long time. I did activate my second neut here for a second just to make sure, but yeah, now it's just slowly getting through the rest of the tank. I was really happy because this was like the second fight I ever had, and I was happy that I could take down a Comet with this fit. So yeah, I grabbed the loot, and there's the Comet. The thing that maybe also made him lose this fight was that he had the 200mm steel plate, which lost him a lot of agility, so I had more time to adjust. Okay, next fight. This fight was just on a gate. I was, well, he shot me earlier, and then I was thinking he had friends because a huge fleet landed, but then I messaged him in direct messages, and he said no, he was solo. So I decided, yeah, let's go for it. And I went back and attacked him, and he shot me as well. I didn't activate my neuts right away, which might have been bad, but I deactivate them now and just immediately stagger them. And unfortunately, a Caracal Navy decloaks, which is just super scary. So I immediately started lining out, and luckily, because of the 2 neuts, he is just immediately neuted out, and the Rifter cannot keep me in place. So I recall drones and get the warp off, and I managed to get out of there with like half shields. And I thought he actually let me go. He didn't, it was because I neuted him, but still, respect to this guy, it was not that he called for friends. It was that you just showed up there and thought, yeah, let's interrupt this 1v1, you know? But, yeah, on to the next fight against a Slicer. And I know this dude, we have had fights in the past, so I knew that I probably should expect some kind of Brawl Slicer here, and that was exactly what he was bringing. So I did have my weapon scram preheated just in case he was not gonna be Brawl Fit, but actually still Kite Fit. But he was Brawl Fit, so I could just immediately take the heat off there, and now it's just a question of can I nuke him out before he kills me? And the Slicer is scary as hell, because the huge amounts of damage you can get on a Brawl Slicer, combined with the perfect damage profile, with EM Thermal hitting me hard, and the very, very strong cap that you get on the Slicer if you don't fit an MWD. Like, Kite Slicers have really, really bad cap, but that's mostly because of their MWDs. So, without MWD, a Brawl Slicer actually has a lot of cap, it takes a lot to nuke it out. But yeah, now he's finally nuked out, and he shouldn't have too much cap left to shoot me. So now I'm just going to do a keep at range to get to him faster. And you see this fight was a lot later, so I already knew how to fly this ship better. And you see I'm heating my gun for a lot longer in this fight, because I realized, yeah, I can heat for a long time without burning out. And yeah, now he's already in hull, and he's probably going to die here very soon. And I'm, yeah, as I said, cap stable with just one nude, so I'm just sitting here comfortably, and he cannot really do anything. So yeah, I took the chance to make some nice cinematic shots, because I actually really like how the Endurance looks, and I absolutely love how the Slicer looks, so this was great to get some nice cinematics there, and boom, there the Slicer goes. So yeah, definitely thank you for the fight, mate, that was great, and yeah, I appreciate it. So there's the kill, man. Pretty standard Brawl Slicer, and yeah, if you had a web instead of a scram, it might have been a lot closer, because the web is really scary because it can actually then hit me very well, but yeah, he didn't have a web, so with the scram he struggled really to apply to me. Okay, next fight. This fight is against another Slicer and another organized 1v1, because as I said, it's really hard to find fights in this because you cannot slide into any sides. So yeah, once again we just agreed to warp to 0 to the sun. And this time I wasn't sure if I should expect Brawl again or Kite, so I just once again preheated my weapon scram just in case, and this was actually a Kite Slicer. But as you see, before he got even to 6 kilometers, I already had him caught. Because, I forgot to mention this in the intro, but the Endurance has a really, really good sensor strength, so you're really quick with locking targets, which is also a good, big benefit of this ship. And you see, with the MWD, he is nuked out way, way, way quicker. Like, he's already cap dry. And that is just the difference between Afterburner and MWD, because the MWD just has that huge cap reduction negative. So yeah, now he's caught and nuked, so it's pretty much a one fight, and once again I can just keep at range 500, apply all the damage, and kill him rather quickly. So GF, bye bye, Slicer, and thank you again for the fight. Recalling Jones, grabbing the loot, and on to the next fight. He wanted a rematch, and this time he was in a Tristan, and I was thinking, maybe he's gonna fly the new Tristan, because new Tristan versus nude Endurance could end badly for me, because if he has 3 nudes and I have 2 and he has a cap booster and I don't, it can be really scary. But he was once again in a Kite Fit, and once again I just barely managed to tackle him. He slipped out of scram range actually for a second, but with the heated scram I managed to catch him again. And luckily, because of the good scan strength that I mentioned before, I could lock him in time, and yeah, he's now just nuked out. But this fight is actually still closer and scarier than with the Slicer, because the Tristan has drones and they can just hit me all the time even if I'm muted, so that's kind of scary. I also should have turned off one of my nudes already, but I forgot. I'll do that now. I'm already kind of cap shy, but it doesn't matter, because he is dead as well. So yeah, once again GF mate, and thanks for those great fights. Okay, now we're getting to the best part. Meme ship versus meme ship. Rixtravix challenged him for a 1v1, and we agreed to warp to the sun, and he flies a Metamorphosis, which is actually another frigate that I'm looking forward to. But this was just after the Metamorphosis got that nerf, so he wasn't sure how to fly it and I wasn't sure what to expect, but it was a great fight to find. And yeah, I was just trying to lock him as soon as possible, and he was probably doing the same, to get some drone damage in as soon as possible. There we go, both sending out drones. And yeah, now he's also almost within tackle range. There we go, got him, and now I can just get those neuts to work. And I know that I have huge tank, and I know that the Metamorphosis doesn't have the best DPS, but I was afraid that he could range control me. And he did actually at the beginning. You can see he's starting to get away from me, but now my neuts already have their effect, and his afterburner is turned off, and now the rest of his tackle is also turned off, so I can just get on top of him. And yeah, he still got one more rep cycle off with his armor wrapper, but now he's gonna be cap dry and not be able to use it anymore. So he's already heading towards Hull. Now I just need to make sure to not cap myself out and to stay on top of him and not let him get away. And yeah, really exciting, really close fight. And I was surprised that he still got me like way below half shield before dying. Which just really shows how scary the Metamorphosis can be. And he later told me he had 47 kill marks on this when it died, so yeah, sorry about that, dude. But I'm really glad I got that kill. So yeah, there's the Comet. The Caldari Navy scram obviously explains why he could scram me already at like 12 kilometers. But since I was after benefit, I didn't really care. And on to the next fight, which is one of the best fights I ever had in my whole EVE career. I was sitting outside the site to bait when this Garmur warped to 0, and then he didn't like try to tackle me or approach to me. So I zoomed into the ship, saw he was rocket fit, and saw him warp off. So I followed him to the side where he warped at 0, because he had previously warped to 0. So I thought, maybe he's just likes to warp to 0. But he warped to range, but still came way too close at the beginning. And before he could realize that he should maybe start flying away from me, I already got both neuts on him and really put him under cap pressure. And now I could almost even range control him because he didn't get his web on me. So I was just really getting close to him at the beginning. And before he got the web on me, like he got the web on me now, so he's definitely gonna control range on me. He was already in armor, which forced him to, yes, armor rep, because he was indeed an armor fit. Which is really hurting his cap though. It is also interesting to see that even before he was neuted out, because now he's neuted out, I was not neutralizing the full 55 gigajoules that a normal T2 neutralizes, and that told me that he probably has a cap actually. Yeah, and I made a mistake here. I accidentally deactivated the wrong neut. I deactivated the neut that still had a longer time to go before cycling down. So I capped myself out here, which is a really big mistake, because now I'm below my peak cap region, so I cannot get my cap back up to keep him neutered. And he tried getting away from me once again, and he got actually another armor cycle off. But I did manage to pop him, and I did manage to warp off because his friends were already landing. And now I'm just panic warping off, and I managed to grab the loot before. And I thought, yeah, that loot, sad, it's only 400,000 ISK. And then I opened Comet and I realized, nope, that was 400 million. That was a super blingy Garmur. And I'm extremely happy that I got that kill. Yeah, here we are in the next fight against the Firetail, another scary fight. I just asked the dude in the private chat, like, hey, wanna fight? And he said, like, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be fair because you're in a mining frigate. And I said, like, yeah, let's try anyway. And this was best case scenario for me. He was autocannon fit, which means he's not gonna control me at like 11 kilometers and hit me with big arty. And he had a neut that he activated at the beginning, big mistake. So I just counter-neuted him, and because his cap was already weak from his own neut, I could just really quickly get him completely neuted out. And now I'm kinda under his guns. He cannot web me anymore, so I'm orbiting him just really quickly. And he's definitely on a struggle with tracking here. Because the Firetail, it does have a tracking bonus, but autocannons just don't have that good tracking. But the pilot did make the correct call here. You see he's not shooting me at all at the moment. Now he is again. He was switching ammo to better tracking ammo, which is a good call, but you see he's still just getting grazing shots. Now penetrating, but it's not going to be enough to get through the rest of my tank. Because he's already heading towards armor. And even if he's armor tank fit, like even if he has an armor rubber, it's not going to be useful because it's just completely cap dry. And yeah, it's just going to be a DPS race, and I'm pretty confident I can win, just because of the big shield tank I have. While this fight is now happening in the background, I can tell you about another fight I had that I unfortunately did not record. It was a great fight against another Comet. This time it was a Blaster Comet. And I got him neuted out, but I was struggling with cap as well because he had a Nosferatu. So there was a really close fight, and sadly before I could finish him, a Vexa Navy landed. And yeah, I also sadly forgot to record, but that was a great fight. So I just tell you that because it is interesting to know that this endurance can take on rail and blaster comets if you play it correctly. And yeah, with that the Firetail goes down. So GF to that Firetail, and they secure the mail. Grab the loot, of course, and look at the drones. And yeah, another great fight. And on to the last fight for today. Tristan on the gate. Once again, I'm just gonna go bait him and see what he does. And I wasn't sure if he wanted to attack me or not, but I knew I couldn't attack him because I didn't want to take gate guns. So I just invited him to a duel to see what would happen. And now I see him deploying drones, so I know, yeah, he's going for it. So I do the same. He gets his drones on me, I get my drones on him. I wasn't sure if he was kite fit or something, but his speed wasn't high enough, so I was thinking that he would probably be some kind of brawl fit and just trying to get some drone damage onto me before we get into that brawl. But I managed to tackle him with heated weapon scram. And yeah, now it's just knitting him out, getting my damage on him, and hopefully killing him. He did shoot my drones here for a bit. You see that my one hobgoblin almost died. Honestly, I'm not sure what would be the better call, to shoot me or shoot my drones. The drones are about half my DPS, but I have 2 sets, so I can replace them even if they die. So I think the better call for him would have been to keep shooting me. But even without drones, I can win this DPS race. And if he keeps switching his drones off me, I'm just tanking very well at this point. My keep-out range was a bit messed up there. It was still at 6.5 kilometers. I had to manually readjust it to 500 to get on top of him and apply the damage. But yeah, he's already heading towards half hull, and I'm pretty confident I got this at this point. He's also just completely neuted out, so if worst comes to worst, I can warp off. But of course I want to stay on grid and finish this. Now I'm down to my last 3 drones, but so yeah, he did kill half of my drones, but it's not going to be enough, and I can finish him off here. And I even managed to warp off before that Catalyst Navy of Cassie got me. So yeah, GF dude, and thank you for the great fight. Alright, that's pretty much all the fights I have for you today. Got some interesting and good fights there, especially the Metamorphosis was great, and the Garmur. You know, there's not a lot of patching up in this video, like no destroyers or cruisers I took down. I did try against the Cyber Fleet issue, but unfortunately all the NPCs in the side that the Cyber Fleet was in just immediately switched all aggro to me, so I died in like 2 shots. But yeah, this ship is definitely not good for punching up. Maybe stuff like a Cormorant you could try, maybe some Catalysts if you keep them at range, but mostly I would stick to Frigates and to your surprise effect. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you today. Remember to join the giveaway, and yeah, have a good day. See you around, guys. Bye bye.